Listen, this, you know what?
She don't wanna, she said, she don't wanna broke boy calling. She only want niggas that's falling.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Being Here podcast. If you're behaving, then you know that is our alternative way of saying behaving. And if you're not behaving, then you're still welcome here. But here at the Being Here podcast, we are focused on obedience. Obedience to God, your goals, your beliefs, your values. And we're here to talk about what's holding you back and how to get rid of what's holding you back. So, what's tea? What's up with y'all? If you guys are watching visually, very chill, very calm vibes. Like, I feel like every piece of content doesn't really have to be polished. Like, yeah, if you're watching visually, like, welcome. I'm still like trying to find like my type of vibe. Like, what do I like? What do I want you guys to see? Like, so you could chill and be with me. Nails not done, hair not all the way done, but we here and we making it work. I definitely feel like sometimes when people create content, it's like always so polished. Like, you don't feel like you could just chill and talk with the person. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of times we get so caught up in the internet world that we kind of need some content that, makes us unwind at least a little bit more. I didn't officially get the chance to say Happy New Year, but Happy New Year to you guys. Like, y'all could like DM me, email me. What are you guys' New Year's resolutions and how are you guys planning to achieve it? So today's podcast is about what are you placing your value on? God has really been speaking to me about what am I placing my value on? Because in high school, I was a big academic. I wouldn't even say I'm the smartest person, like, ever, but I still, like, kind of place my value into, like, what I could have accomplished, and what kind of grades I could have get, like BGCSEs, examinations, like what college could I get into. I definitely place my value into those things, and I'm realizing how much that deteriorated me inside. Like, it really did deteriorate me. Like, I did become so much of a slave to how my parents saw me, how the world saw me, whether or not I was achieving, whether or not I was successful, whether or not, like, they saw me as respectable, quote unquote. And honestly, I just feel like everybody deserves respect, but I digress. So the Lord really has been dealing with me about what am I putting my value on, even if we think about social media. And like we talked about like last week, a lot of people only like really post their wins. They only post like the good things going on in their life. But at the same time, when those good things happen to you, you can't place your entire value on it. And that's not to like discredit anybody's successes. It's not to discredit like anybody's like accomplishments. I'm just saying that when you try to put all of your value into this one thing, like for example, being married, being in a relationship, having this amount of money, like having this car, like having this house. When you place your value on that, you really deteriorate inside because it's so temporary. It's so temporary, and honestly, we are so much more than our accomplishments and our wins. The same way that we are a lot more than our mistakes and the bad things that we did. I just feel like we don't talk enough about not placing your entire self-worth on something because we're so caught up in the culture of go get that. Even this podcast is like a lot about challenging yourself and facing your goals, right? But it's also about taking care of yourself and being obedient to God and not placing all of your value on one thing. This one thing doesn't define you. Quite frankly, a lot of things that you guys have, that I have as well, it could be gone tomorrow. So who are you when you aren't with that person anymore? Who are you when you don't have that job anymore? Who are you when your image is tainted? Like these things that we place our value on could be gone in a second. But it's crazy how God is ever faithful and He's everlasting and He is such a merciful God, and yet we just refuse to place our value in Him. Or we just refuse to believe what He says about us. We believe what social media says about us. We believe what other people say about us. Sometimes the people we don't even know, like we just let the opinion just get like so stuck in our brain. It can make us depressed, or it can make us so big-headed and arrogant. Like it's really crazy to think about how much we can put our value on something else. Like we aren't so much more than that, you know what I mean? So God has really been dealing with me on, hey, this may have been a season of your life, but this is not who you are. Like it's so amazing how we are just such multifaceted human beings, but we simply can't comprehend that. Like we still dumb ourselves down to, I have this, I have that, I accomplished this, I made it out of school, all these other things. I started this business, and yes, wonderful. Like I want you guys to go after it. Like if you want it, like wholeheartedly, like I really do want y'all to go after what you want. But that's not the entirety of who you are. So right now, I am making it a point to ensure that my experience on this earth is a meaningful one. And honestly, I'm just so focused on doing what I feel like the Lord has really called me to do. Because honestly, that's the only thing that's gonna last. Like I said, all these other things that we've been placing our work on, it really is not gonna last. You know, like I feel like that is one of the major things where I went wrong. Like I really just tried to like be a people pleaser. Like make sure my parents are proud, and then I'll be okay. And then I'll, you know, if I accomplish X, Y, and Z, if I graduated high school, made it out of school, got a good job, then I would be happy. But the truth is, there's no point in our life where we achieve something, we're happy. We might be a little more content, life might be a little easier, but the only thing that's gonna last is what your true purpose is in this earth. The way that you impact people, the way that you treat people, that's what's gonna last. That is what's valuable. Like, what are you placing your value on? Don't place your value on things that ain't valuable. What's valuable is your words. What's valuable is your talent. What's valuable is the gifts that God put deep on the inside of you. That's what's valuable. And sometimes you're scared to do it because you're afraid of how it's gonna look. But that's what's really gonna last, y'all. Everything else is fake. Life is just so temporary. Everything else is just so temporary. Like life is so fragile, it's beautiful, but it's temporary. So don't get so caught up in these things that don't even matter at the end of the day. Listen, when God is telling you to move, you really do need to move, you know. You really do need to move. And sometimes He gives you a vision, and He gives you some type of anointing, and He gives you some type of gift that's just unexplainable to somebody else. And that's really lonely, because that means you have to do it by yourself without hardly anybody supporting you. Sometimes it gets lonely, but guess what? That's what really matters at the end of the day. If you can really push through that self-doubt, if you can really push through that anxiety and push through that depression and just do what God tells you to do. And sometimes it could be so small. Like God could tell you, give this homeless person $5. And you do that. And that means something. Like that's valuable. That's valuable to God. Like and even down here, like kindness just means so much, and then it changes people in a way that you can't even imagine. Sometimes we just really have to follow that voice. You know what I mean? Anything that you possess, you could lose in a millisecond. You could lose. Like the pandemic really showed us, hey, you think you get it all together, right? No, you don't. No, everything could change. No, anything could happen. And I'm not trying to be a pessimist, you know. Like, I understand that, you know, you have to go to work and you have to go to school. There's certain things that you kind of have to do the day to day to, like, survive. But there's something that God's calling you to do. Like, God is calling you to something that isn't just about surviving. It's about you living out your purpose. It's about you living out something. It's about you reaching out and being something. Being something that you were supposed to be. Don't step into your own way. Like, do it. Like, really do it. And figure out what it is. Maybe you need to spend some more time with yourself. Like, it's the beginning of the year. It's a really good time for you to fast. It's a really good time for you to, you know, like, even like fast from people. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. You need to stop being around people all the time. Get to know you. Get to know who you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, take a fast, like, take a break from some things. Take a break from social media. Take a break from the day-to-day things that, you don't have to do all the time. Take a break from scrolling. Get to know yourself and get to know what it is you down here for. Because, listen, I just feel like life ain't a coincidence at all. Have you all really thought about the fact that we really here on a planet, like in a universe, and we actually exist? Like, there have to be a reason behind that, and you really need to chase that reason, and you really need to chase that purpose. Stop placing your value on an image. Image really don't matter at the end of the day. The way God sees you matters. Your kindness, the way you treat people matters. Stop worrying about an image. Stop worrying about, oh, I need to be married with kids by 26, and I need to finish my degree and have my PhD before 30. Like, nah, you stressing yourself out. Because ain't nobody tell you you're supposed to do that. Girl, you really think that you was born and put on this earth so that you could graduate high school and college and just work for the rest of your life? You think that's all life is about? It's prestigious, it's wonderful. Yes, congratulations to you. But that ain't all what life about, huh? Like, really think about it. You think the end all be all is school and a job? It's so much more. So you gotta chase that more, y'all. You gotta chase that more. You gotta chase that passion. You gotta chase something. There's something more to this life. And other people just are so logical. They're like so logical to the point where it's like, yeah, it's this and then we die. No, there's something more to this life. And I'm choosing to believe that. You should choose to believe that. Okay, y'all. Whew. Well, that's the end of the first segment. Now we'll be moving into the second segment, which is the Ask Shauna segment. And before I get into the question, y'all, listen, one thing about my camera, it can die. And like, I just have this hot take that if we can be spending so much money on these portable electronics, why they just don't last? Like, if the battery can be dying all the time, then why we still just don't have wire stuff, like wire computer and wire camera and stuff like that, and house phone and thing? Because y'all really need to do better. Like, we spending too much money on these things for it to just be dying like that. But I digress. So, for the question of the day, the question is, what challenge have you faced in the midst of following what God wants you to do? My biggest challenge is my mind. Listen when I tell you. My biggest challenge is my mind. My biggest challenge is my mind and the things that I think of myself, and me being so worried about how others view me. I'm really trying to lean on, when God puts you in a position, He puts you there knowing that you're qualified enough to do it. And, I'm just trusting Him and trusting His, His view of me, what He says about me, in order for me to really do this for real. Because I saw a post, and listen, this should be another segment, because I always see some type of post, and I always see something that moved me. I saw this post, Megan Turnquest, on Instagram. She posted, she was like, sometimes you gotta wake up and believe what God say about you. And listen, when I said that moved me, because I can't do all of this. You think I was starting this podcast if I didn't believe anything about what God said about me, if I didn't believe in Him? Listen, that's the only way we can make it through this life, friend. That's just really what it is. So, be encouraged, y'all. Like, God really have you there for a reason. Like, God really is working on you. Like, really place your value in Him, and we all in this together, friend. We all in this together. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for being a part of this chill episode with me. I have my tea in the corner, and I like this. I'm gonna check y'all out later, okay? Bye.